The strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools, baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. Go with the wind blows. run, but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright guys, so first of all, there was no show yesterday because someone might have sat up all day all night playing games, fell asleep and wasn't feeling so good because he failed to eat or drink. So yeah, I'm not obsessed, I swear. So yeah, I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I had a huge splitting headache. It was probably just dehydration because I feel a lot better today. On the bright side, I have a week off work. So, yay for videos, I suppose. So yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to do things the same as we usually do, but we are going to be recording this as well. So that I'll be able to have time to go through and split up the videos and put them up later tonight. So, yeah. Yay for no work. But let's jump into it. So yeah, obviously people in chat are realizing we're going to be talking about 3D porn. I don't know how I feel about that situation. Look, to be honest, I'm just going to have to get a handle on the situation. But that said, I don't know. 3D porn's kind of a worry, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about this. So, obviously, look, Trump is going through and Trump is pushing the whole border wall, you know, claiming that, for example, illegal immigration is obviously bad, which I tend to agree with. But there's been a little bit of development that can sort of set the Democrats back a little bit, because we have not only one, but we have 2 cases of illegal immigrants committing crimes within a past couple of days, I want to say, 2nd of April. And when was this one? He was sentenced, so... yeah, at first I thought these might have been linked. I thought they might have been the same case. But no, apparently they're completely different. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about these illegal immigrants breaking the law, because, you know, I want to be monetized within the first 5 seconds of a video. So, illegal alien from Honduras charged with murder, kidnapping and aggravated sexual assault of a 45-year-old nanny in New Jersey. Why are you sexually assaulting a 45-year-old woman? Like, I know, okay, for a start, sexual assault is bad. Don't do it. But if you're going to do it, why a 45-year-old woman? Like, if you're going to do the time, you think you'd pick someone younger than 45? Is that wrong for me to say? I don't know how, you know, like, if I'm going to spend 10 to 15 years in jail, you may as well go balls to the wall and pick up and sexually assault some 21-year-old. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying go out and do it. By all means, sexual assault is bad. But if you are that way inclined, why pick a 45-year-old over a 21-year-old or a 23-year-old is what I'm... you know what I mean. But anyway, let's jump into the story. Police arrested and charged a 33-year-old Joris Rios for the murder of a Caroline... oh my god, he actually murdered her. Caroline Caneno, a 45-year-old nanny living in New Jersey. Miss Calayo's roommate told the police that she went out for a jog at a nearby park at 5:30 a.m. on March 24th and never came home. Calayo's body was later discovered in the New Jersey lake. PSI, I see what you're writing. Don't be naughty. But Carolina Seno, I'm getting that name wrong, walked through the same park every Sunday on her way to church. So, investigators say Caroline Caneo was strangled, raped, and then submerged into the lake. Ugh, what a bad way to go. Fox News reports that according to multiple sources, Jory Rizio, I'm getting that name is wrong, is an illegal alien from Honduras who was charged with a murder, kidnapping, and aggravated sexual assault. He didn't really kidnap anybody, did he? I would say the kidnapping is probably... yeah. Investigators were able to identify Rio after receiving surveillance footage of the park. He was arrested at a local diner on Sunday. Rios is expected to be arraigned on all charges this Thursday. It looks like Joe Rios has the spark of divinity Pelosi previously gushed about. So look, at the end of the day, obviously, look, this is a hugely sad, but obviously bad man. Like, yeah, Honduras man bad. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, obviously it's completely despicable. Obviously no woman deserves to be raped or murdered or anything like that. I don't know how the kidnapping comes into it, because he sort of raped and murdered her in the park. It's not like he took her anywhere, but regardless, it's technicality, I suppose. But look, yeah, I'm all for them throwing the book at this guy. Going through and saying, hey, you raped, you murdered someone, supposedly kidnapped. Throw the book at him, send him to prison, send him to jail, life imprisonment, whatever it may be. Or let's just deport him and not have to worry about paying for the costs, would be my answer. Hey, Honduras, we know where you come from. Let's send you back there. And I don't know. The problem with that, though, is if you do that, is he going to likely to come back again? Is he going to be resurfacing? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, obviously, like I said, there is another case of another illegal alien sentenced to 25 years in prison for raping a 12-year-old girl. What is it with these immigrants and raping people? It's like, do they have the serious case of the blues down there or something? An illegal alien who was previously released on bond, oh, isn't that interesting, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for raping a 12-year-old girl in Gwinnett County, Georgia. I might be mispronouncing the name. Illegal alien Rabid Aurora, I'm getting that name wrong, 24-year-old, was sentenced to 25 years in prison for raping a 12-year-old girl in 2015. His grandmother once babysat, according to the Gwinnett Daily Post. So he's raping a 12-year-old girl in 2015 that his grandmother once babysat. Oh, wow. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was not allowed to put Avero on an ICE hold at the time of the charge due to an Obama-era president directive that prevailed illegal aliens from being turned over to the federal immigration officials before their conviction. Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department, Shannon Vodka said. Isn't that weird? I'll check that out, PSI, thanks. So PSI has that, but we'll come back to that. Yes, I'm sure I want to leave the website to go to... Oh, China kindergarten teacher accused of poisoning. Holy dooly. Okay, we'll talk about that next, actually, because that's sort of linking to what we're talking about. So, yeah. Thank you very much, PSI. Thank you very much. But yeah, so look, at the end of the day, obviously, because of this Obama-era law or restriction, obviously, at the end of the day, they weren't able to put him on hold. To be honest, if you're getting charged with serious crimes like rape and murder, then definitely think you should be put into hold. Like, you know, yeah. Obviously, depending on the severity of the case and of the previous restrictions and stuff, but like, look at this guy's mugshot. Like, seriously, look at this guy. Does anybody think this guy's innocent? Just look at the mugshot on him. He looks like he's giving a death stare to the camera. Like, I wonder, you know, I wonder if he's innocent. But anyway, good on him for being sentenced to 25 years in prison. You're going to be 50-something by the time you get released. Although, by the way Americans' prison systems work, he's probably going to be released next year. But anyway. But yeah, really wish I would serve 25 years. Just send him back. Stop him from coming in. Just seal the border. Send him home. Let them deal with him. Yeah. I don't think we should have to, but anyway. And also something that PSI has just shown up is while we're talking about, you know, mass murders and stuff like that, because, hey, we want to be demonetised. Child kindergarten teacher accused of poisoning 23 kids. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nearly 24 school children in China reportedly became ill last week following a suspected poisoning which prompted a kindergarten teacher's arrest. 23 kids received medical care following the incident, which erupted after they ate breakfast at school, BBC News report citing the state media. 2 children were killed after... Oh, sorry, it's another story. The arrest teacher is suspected of having added sodium nitrate, oh, Jesus Christ, to their meal, although the motive for alleged action wasn't immediately clear. I guess she doesn't like children. The kids drove her to it, by the way, probably. The Zhizhou City Police said, according to the Associated Press, overexposure to sodium nitrate can be toxic and can be possibly fatal. Well, no offense, but if something's toxic, it's generally pretty fatal. But anyway. 15 children have been since released from the hospital, with others are still receiving treatment, BBC reported, citing the state-run Xera news agency. So, yeah, apparently that happened too. But let's go through the comments. By the way, I don't know where Satellite is. Lazy shit's probably still in bed. But yeah, if he turns up, obviously he knows we've got a live show. So if he turns up, we'll be jumping in, and yeah, he can jump in halfway through. But we're sitting up late to the last night playing games, so it's probably sleeping in. It's a good place for it. I wish I could. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's go through these comments. I also do the comments as we go through. Makes it easier, but anyway. Yay, first. Well done, TL. Well done, I mean first. 5D porn sounds like a hollow suit. It does a bit, doesn't it? I want to know, what's the 5th dimension? Because, like, is it like jizz flying at you or something? Like, yeah, do the women get a whole bunch of Bacardi or something all over them? Kind of makes you wonder. It's like Disney's smart house for adult strip clubs of the future. Right, says Zach. I don't know how I feel about that. It's sketchy, to be honest. Seems like a Blade Runner 2949 moral dilemma. TL, I feel pretty hard about it. It's pretty funny. Non-partisan. I said I'm left having moral dilemma about the left. No, doesn't happen. Zach says, I'm saying that being able to do anything to something that's pretty close to a human and being fine is a dangerous thing. I.e., the replicator being treated as an object, but emulating a human near perfectly is bad for people's minds. Yeah, actually, Satellite and I had this discussion a few days ago. We were talking about, for example, if you start receiving cybernetic parts in the future, would that make you less human? Would you see yourself as less human? And would that also then allow you to go through and actually have devaluing the other people around you that are cybernetic, I suppose? But anyway, leads to evil, not condoning it, wink wink. As expected, third world meets first world and breaks loose. Yeah. Although, you think that yeah, you know, you think like people like this would be raping and stuff in these sort of third world countries, wouldn't you? So, yeah, maybe they just don't get covered down there, I suppose. I don't know. Deport the Inhuman. I don't know if he's Inhuman, but he's definitely, deport the Inhuman into the bottom of the ocean. Well, I reckon give him a Davy Jones locker sort of treatment. Kindergarten poisoning, we just talked about. Thank you very much, PSI. Nah, he needs some concrete. Gosh, that's crazy. If you can't poison kids' minds, poison their bodies. Similar to public schools. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't take the indoctrination anymore, so she thought she'd just kill them. Save them from being, alt-right quite in the future. hey, he ruined the girl's life, man. That's true. He did ruin the girl's life. Killing, knifing kids in school is common in China. Oof, really? Don't hear about it much, do you? TL, that teacher needs poisoned over and over again. Death to receive the poison again. Yeah, eye for an eye sort of thing. The problem with doing that, though, is if you start doing eye for eye, sooner or later, it just ends up in a blood grove. But yeah, I would say the teacher. Look, I reckon the teacher's going to get her just desserts. I can't imagine China being happy with this, to be honest. China is cleansing itself of children every second. South Park shake weight gives you a chance for a taxi. What? Anyway, no guy wants jizz flying at him unless he's gay. Laugh out loud. No, but the girls might like it. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, obviously, we'll talk about the 3D porn thing in a bit. Don't worry. We're going to talk about it. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, Trump is to pursue excessive crackdown on immigration. The White House is exploring all executive authorities in existing law that will allow an aggressive crackdown on illegal immigration and legal immigration fraud. Senior advisor to the president, Stephen Mueller, told the Daily Caller in an executive telephone interview, there's going to be an aggressive effort to utilize every existing authority and statute. Miller announced, explaining that several authorities exist in immigration laws passed by Congress throughout history, including the 1996 Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act. Mueller noted that the White House is systematically reviewing all authorities and that are on the books about both in terms of crackdown on illegal immigration and the abuse of our illegal immigration system. Targeted abuse actions include illegal immigrants who overstay temporary visas, combating or addressing legal benefits seeking the illegal immigration system. Noting that there is approximately 1 million illegal aliens from the United States with 5 final removal orders that are still remaining at large. In some cases for several years, Mueller gave one example of the types of executive action the administration can take. Presidential advisor noted that the existing law has statute that allows for significant final penalty for even single day that an alien resides in the country being ordered to remove. TL, it's a South Park episode that's about shake weight. Oh, the shake weight, yeah. Yeah, I have seen that episode actually. It's quite funny. Yeah. But let's face it, that shake weight really did sort of seem like something else, didn't it? Like, is anybody else surprised? Like, yeah. But anyway. But hey, it was popular with the girls. I'm not saying much more after that. Donald Trump, defense border closure option, security more important than trade. So, obviously, President Donald Trump on Tuesday, I lost my thing. Acknowledged that closing the southern border would negatively affect trade, but has said it's willing to do it anyway for security reasons. Sure, it's going to have a negative effect on the economy, but to me, trading is very important. The borders are very important, but security is what's more important, he told reporters in the White House. Let me just give you a little secret. Security is more important to me than trade. So we're going to have strong borders, or we're going to have a closure border. The president commented on the possibility action during the White House meeting with the Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg of NATO. Trump urged Democrats to negotiate a deal to help fix the crisis on the border and demand Mexico do more to stop immigrants from approaching the United States border. But he also demonstrated his willingness to close the border on a large section of the border, noting that there are many people urging him to do so. I'm totally prepared to do it, Trump said. We're going to see what happens the next few days. To me, this seems like it's more Trump sort of trying to get the Democrats into a situation where they are actually going to negotiate on the border. It's sort of like he's giving them an ultimatum, saying, hey, negotiate on the border, otherwise I'm just going to effing close it. Do I think he's really going to close it? Look, push comes to shove, probably. But I think this is more about him negotiating a more powerful situation where he can then turn around and say, look, we got all these problems. We got all these criminals that are coming in. And obviously Breitbart at the moment is helping Trump in the fact that they keep reporting on all these illegal immigrants that breaking the laws. There's no reason why all the right-wing media is obviously talking about these criminals. Like literally here, like obviously that was Fox, but that's not really anything to do with the border. But like this one's Breitbart, that one's obviously Daily Caller, I think it was, the Gateway Pundit. So at the end of the day, obviously right-wing media is sort of trying to support Trump and saying, hey, look at all these criminals, which there are. Hashtag it's not all, but yes, there are a few. The very say under the least. There are a few to quite a many that do want to obviously take advantage of the soft system and come in here and break laws. And look, at the end of the day, I'm all for closing borders. I really am. I think Australia needs to do it. I think the UK needs to do it. I think America needs to do it. You need to pick more people that are sympathetic to your culture, is the way I would put it. So people that are more in tune with your cultural beliefs. You can't go importing a third world which has a radically different culture and then sitting there going, hey, it's going to work out, everything is okay. Because chances are it doesn't. We know it doesn't. New Zealand shooting. It's a clash of cultures at its finest. You know, at the end of the day, Australia, all the terrorist attacks that we've had is a clash of culture. You know, the reason why no one really wants to talk about why this New Zealand shooter got all radicalised. At the end of the day, he got radicalised because he kept seeing terrorist attack after terrorist attack. And he kept seeing the governments bringing in more of the people that are doing the terrorist attack. I'm not saying what he did was right. Totally against it. Hey Trip, how are you, buddy? I'm totally against the terrorist attack. But at the end of the day, if you have a whole bunch of people from a culture that are seemingly giving your society the middle finger, causing terrorist attack and everything like that, your government's not willing to do anything, this is what we've been saying for years. People will take the matter into their own hand. And this is not the first time or the last time that we're going to be talking about this. We have a story later today which is literally just breaking, where New Zealand is having yet another situation with a shooter. Slightly different than it was before, but yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it's another yet situation. So welcome to Demonetized City, where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I fully support Trump and closing the border. But at the end of the day, that said, I think this is more about him posturing. Him turning around, getting the Democrats to come to the table to negotiate a deal. But yeah, he will close it if push comes to shove. 2020 Democrat Julian Castro calls for illegal immigrations to be treated as civil, not criminal offences. Yes, because that's just watered down those illegal immigrants that are coming here illegally, and let's not treat them as a criminal. But they're breaking the law. But my feelings. Let's cover this. 2020 Democrat presidential candidate Julian Castro on Tuesday called for illegal immigration to be no longer treated as criminal matter. The truth is, the immigrants seeking refugee in our country aren't a threat to national security. Really, they're not a threat to national security. Here's one who just raped and murdered a 45-year-old nanny. And this is another one that raped a 12-year-old. But they're not a threat, right? They're not a threat to national security. Okay, sure. Immigration shouldn't be a criminal justice issue. It's time to end the draconian policy and return to treating immigration as civilian, not criminal issue, he said. There's that slippery slope fallacy coming in, right? They just want to water them down and water them down and water them down until all of a sudden we're all, you know, have no problems with immigrants whatsoever. Open borders, because, you know, just outright saying open borders didn't work. American hipsters won't get their avocados from Mexico now. Did you hear about the American hipsters are refusing to drive cars because they've realized that cars actually comes, or they think that, or the rumor is, or I suppose it's reality, really. That, yeah, apparently what happened was a whole bunch of American hipsters, a whole bunch of liberals, are refusing to drive cars because they heard that the dinosaurs produced the dinosaurs. The decomposing dinosaurs caused them to cause the oil, which is, I think it's actually true. I think it's actually true in a certain sense, but not the full story. But yeah, these leftists are refusing to drive cars now because the dinosaurs that died made the oil, and they didn't want to hurt the dinosaurs, so they're refusing to drive cars. Like, Jesus Christ, like freaking hell. Castro, who made his first opposition to President Trump's immigration policy policies a cornerstone of his company, published his proposal on Medium, which says it's a call for policy that puts people first. While the phrase is common among the Democrat field, Castro is one of the first to put the meat on the bone and flesh out his version of an immigration policy. In it, he said that we'd have the reverse of a travel ban on immigrants from certain countries, cuts in refugees numbers, and what he calls wasteful spending on a pointless wall. So in other words, he wants to get the wall, he wants to bring in a whole bunch of people from terrorist companies or countries, and he wants to open the borders. Great policy. He also joined fellow Democrats in calling for a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants living in the country peacefully, as well as a protection from deportation for illegal immigrants beyond the countries illegal as children. DACA, in other words, I presume. At the end of the day, Trump tried to give them a deal on DACA. They wouldn't sign it. They wouldn't accept it. So, yeah, Trump tried to do that. You guys weren't interested. Hey Trip, glad we're with us. Yep, hey Trip, how are you, buddy? PSI, I can live without Guatemalan. Yeah. I can't stand that Durs. You mean Dems? I don't know what you mean. Oh, sorry, I can't stand that dirt tasting snot. Oh shit, okay. That's pretty harsh. Tastes like bended up Shrek. Nah, I'm good. There's a theory that... Oh, you're talking about the Guacamole? Yeah, whatever it is. I can't pronounce things. We all know that. Let's face it, you guys don't come here for the pronunciation lessons. There's a theory that oil is not from the dinosaurs, but rather produces from Earth another way, like blood of... Oh my god, shit. Fuck me drunk. Really? Really, Trip? They actually claim that now? Not decomposing. It's organic matter that is crushed into the oil and coal. Yeah, it's the bones and stuff like that, the calcium and all that, isn't it? It decomposes millions of years before it even came close to oil. Yeah, I know. Yeah, probably like a phrasing on my part. But yeah, the bones and all that calcify and decompose and yeah. Thumbs up, guys, if you appreciate this live stream. Yes, please, guys. We only have 2. Well, now we have 3 because I forgot to do it myself. So, yeah, thumbs up, guys, if you are enjoying it. Yeah. If not, then tell me in chat why. Thumbs up. WFE. Thank you, Wolfie. All right, let's keep going. Because we do have a bit more news to cover. Key Republicans, including 5D porn. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. Key Republicans joined Democrats in opposing Trump's Central American funding freeze. Several key Republicans have declared their opposition to President Donald Trump's order to freeze direct aid to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, including the ranking Republican on the House Foreign Relations Committee, Representative Mike McCall. These GOP critics offered the same argument as the Democrats, naming that cutting off funds to anti-poverty and law enforcement poverty programs in the Northern Triangle continues to make the immigration crisis worse. I would agree with that to a certain point, but also those countries don't seem to care about sending their refugees to America. If you want American funds to help with your law-abiding and citizen and law and order and all that sort of shit, fine. But at the end of the day, don't send your refugees. That should be the disclosure. You want our money? We'll give you the aid, but stop frigging sending us your refugees. That would be what I would say. I don't know why we, the US, are giving them a nickel. Obviously, look, at the end of the day, foreign aid is normally a precursor to trade agreements. So there's that. For example, Australia gives a lot of foreign aid to Indonesia, who just happens to buy a lot of stuff off us. So we're giving them one money, but we're taking it with the other. Yeah, it's a bit like money laundering, I suppose. But yeah, at the end of the day, obviously, and look, obviously they give these programs, they give money for these programs to obviously help with law and order and stuff like that. Obviously help try and build the communities up, because they obviously having a third world shithole below you is not good. But the thing is that these governments are so corrupt anyway, half the money's not getting there. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would say that if you want the money from the US, you have to follow the US guidelines. So, for example, don't send us your effing refugees. Alright, since you guys want to talk about it so much, let's talk about 5D porn. What exactly is 5D porn? What, you watch it, you smell it, and you feel it? What exactly are you feeling? I don't know. I don't know where to go with this one. Let's just jump straight into it. A new 5D porn cinema opens Saturday and comes as no surprise that it's located right in the heart of Amsterdam's red light district. Foreign aid, international begging, it needs to stop. True. Of course, it's not actually 5D in the basic terms. Oh, that's kind of misleading, isn't it? The first three dimensions are length, breadth, and height. While the fourth dimension is time, this porn cinema does not go beyond any of those dimensions. However, it does feature things like bouncy chairs and water cannons, unlike most cinemas, which is presumably why they decided to brand itself as a 5D porn experience. So you take a shot of water to the face. Interesting. I suppose the whole golden shower scenes are going to be a lot more interesting now. The idea is the cinema offers more immersive experience than just watching porn from home. And truly what could be more arousing than getting a bonk on the room with 17 total strangers. Plus, there are surely countless ways to immersive sexual experience littered across the red light district. We all kind of know that place is famous for. Brothels, in other words. But the owner, who wishes only give the first name of Natalie, it's a chick, go figure, says that the theatre could be a place to go with your partner. She also insisted not just a place for tourists to have a wank. That's my situation there. That's the problem, right? If you're watching porn, it's normally to have a jerk off, to have a wank, to wring the sausage, so to speak, right? Some couples watch it together because obviously they want to get in the mood, but normally guys or girls watch porn because they want to get themselves in the mood, and it's more of a selfless thing. Do you really want to be sitting into a cinema with a whole bunch of guys jerking off? Even if it's in like dark cinemas? Like, you sit on the seat and you'd be like, what am I sitting on here? You know, all of a sudden you cop a headshot to the back of the head. Like, you'd be like, hair gel. Like, this is wrong on so many levels. It really is. Like, where's Satellite when we need him? Like, holy shit. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, this is just, you'd be watching the porn, you'd look over and there'd be some guy going hammer and tongs at it. Like, no, I think I'll pass on that experience. Thank you very much. Speaking to the Dutch Review, she said, we're definitely not just going after tourists for our audience. It's funny because in Amsterdam, even the Dutch people have an interest in breaking free from the norms. Yeah, see what that's doing to you. You're having 5D porn now. Come with your wife, have a laugh, try something different. I'm pretty sure people that go to these things are going to be trying something different. Yes, try something different. Come with your wife, says Natalie. Knew what she was doing there. I think this is what this is going to be another adult theatre sort of like situation. I think that this is just going to end up being in a huge orgy fuckfest at the theatre. People are going to go, they're going to start watching the movie, and then all of a sudden people are just going to end up getting it on. And I do have to wonder if this 5D porn experience, so to speak, is more of an excuse to entice people into this sort of, this group sex sort of gangbang sort of lower inhibition sort of policy. People are literally trying to corrupt society, for lack of a better word. And it does make me wonder that if this is more about that than it is about 5D porn. The 5D porn is an experiment. That's just to lure people in the door. They know that people go to this, people are going to be getting it on, people are going to be getting fucking and having sex, and that this is just another way to corrupt society. And I would love to know who the person is that actually runs this, besides Natalie. You know, is there some sort of left-wing agenda being pushed here? Is there some sort of left-wing funding? I really have a bit of a problem with this in the first place, because A, it's people having sex in public. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm for all having sex in public and doing the risky thing, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be sitting into a cinema where a guy's jerking off, and that's where I have a problem with this. Also, how do you clean the cinemas? You know, how do you make sure the cinemas are sterile? You know? What are you going to do? Provide cups because guys are going to jerk off into that? Sure, that's not going to work. But anyway. The theatre screens films made in collaboration with Dutch porn star Kim Holland, and Natalie said the experience leaves people feeling energized. I'm sure it does. She says, have you been at an amusement park? It's kind of like that. No, it's really not. It's really not like that, because I know what's going to be happening in this cinema, and it's not like an amusement park. Lots of things happen so fast when you're in the audience. It's finally over. You're left energized. You want to go back there, have a beer, have a coffee, talk, and process what just happened. Sure, that's why you're doing it. Totally sure. That doesn't seem too hard to believe. Indeed, for anyone who hasn't been in the red light district, it's worth noting that you should always allow time afterwards to process what just happened. Look, at the end of the day, guys, if you want to have sex, just go to the brothels. That's what they're there for, really. But if you'd rather spend a weekend in Derby and then Amsterdam, but you like all your entertainment to be sex-based, why not visit the House of Holes, the new adult-themed crazy golf course? We gotta sexualize everything, haven't we? Not even effing golf can be fine. But anyway. I don't know. What do you guys reckon about this? I reckon this is just a way to corrupt society. They're just trying to go through and, yeah, just trying to make everybody corrupt, so to speak. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Before we do that, let's jump into the comments, because obviously this is a live stream. Good. I like how length is first. Lol. 5D porn. Salt water. Disinfectant, more like it. Flashlights. If it was 1970. I never understood strip clubs. Go to watch women take clothes off and you males and then leave all horny. Then what? That's a good thing, Trip. I don't get that either. I don't like strip clubs. I've been to a few of them because obviously the rest of the guys wanted to go. But you get a lap dance at the very least. You can't touch. You can't really do anything. You kind of... Yeah. So, yeah, I find that strip clubs are a waste of time too. If you're going to spend that sort of money on a lap dance, you might as well just go to a brothel, to be honest. 5D porn just got uber disappointing. Oof. Usually no one wants to see the load fly at them and then realise it's real. True. Well, I suppose that is technically 5D, isn't it? But anyway. This will be further erode traditional societies, normalising this crap. That's what I think it's all about, Trip. I think that this is all about them going through and corrupting society and literally making it so that it's corrupt. It's sexual. You know, that we have to sexualize everything. So, you know, we can push through a left-wing agenda. Trying to sexualize everything. Yeah, exactly. TL, sorry. Exactly, that's it. Exactly what I think it is. PSI, strip club's a great place to take a date. Well, I don't know about that, but sure. Well, yeah. See how that works out for you. Imagine you probably end up with... Well, it depends on the girl, I suppose, doesn't it? Depends on what she's up for, I suppose. You never know, she might try to take home one of the strippers. Anyway, let's jump on to the next story. A single mum from Nevada said she was in complete shock after a 13-year-old son gave her a grand gift never expected from a boy his age. Crystal Preston posted the heartwarming story on Facebook, sharing that her son, William Robbo, surprised her with a car. I noticed they got different last names. Anyway. I have no words right now that can express how I feel at this moment, the mum wrote. The last couple of weeks had literally been hell, filled with so many tears, anger, confusion. Fusion and a heart attack. Today I got the shock of my life. Sorry. I'm losing Philatus to speak properly. Preston said her son, who had been busy mowing lawns and cleaning yards, turned to a money-making machine recently. That's why she didn't question the teen when he said he had a job to go do. When he came back home, Preston realised this time was different. William came home and said, "Mum, I brought you a car," Preston wrote. Of course, I laughed and told him, "Yeah, right." Yeah, you did buy her a car. Good on him. Roberto told his mum he was serious and that he really brought her a car. He told her that he had to see it. Roberto told his mum he was serious. He really brought her a car. He told her they had to go see it with this lady. A few details coming out of the sun made Preston skeptical, but when she walked outside, there was a woman in the front yard waiting to give them a ride. Roberto jumped in the woman's car and his mum. She's puzzled, following along. I'm still thinking at this point it's a sick joke. Well, we pulled up to this house, William said. "Mum, that's your car. I completely lost it," Preston wrote, adding that she started to cry. "I'm speechless. My 13-year-old son brought me a car." It's kind of a good story. Kind of heartwarming. Kind of mixed emotions today. First we covered 3D porn, and now we're covering a 13-year-old who's doing the right thing for society. So, interesting, isn't it? Apparently he sold his Xbox as well. So, yeah, in an interview, Roberto, I'm getting the name wrong, said the idea came when he was scrolling through Facebook and found someone in the area was selling a car. He reached out and offered to give them his Xbox and do some yard work in exchange for the car. The seller took him up on his offer. And here I was thinking, thought it was a joke, the mum wrote. Nope, it was all handed the keys and the paperwork to the car. I'm freaking out, but I'm in shock. So it was a white 1999 Chevrolet Metro that he had brought her. So, good on him. Yeah, good mum raising a kid. Yeah, I would say so too. And look, at the end of the day, obviously, good on the kid. Wolfie says fake news. What are you saying fake news on? The kid buying the car? But yeah, at the end of the day, good on him. Good on him for buying the car. Doing yard work. Yeah, slave labour. but yeah, no, good on the kid for doing it. Yeah, good on him for buying the car and look, you know, yeah, single mum. She's probably got a hard life. Yeah. Anyway, let's jump on to the next story. No more kitten slaughterhouse. Government halts deadly cat experiment. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced it was ending the test which included feeding cats to other cats. Cat lives matter. Meow. Hannah Shaw, the animal advocate known as the Cat Lady, I don't know if that's a compliment, attended an event in Ribbon building on bipartisan legislation introduced by Representatives Jimmy Dependent, who's Democrat for California, and Mike Bollership, Republican from Michigan, to the end of the Department of Agriculture's scientific testing on kittens in June 7, 2018. The government scientists announced Tuesday they are pulling the plug on the research program that resulted in the deaths of thousands of cats. The U.S. Department of Agriculture Research Scientists Lab had been infecting cats with toxoplasmosis and then euthanizing them since 1982 as a part of the effort to combat foodborne illness. The USDA's announcement comes 2 weeks after NBC News reported on a study that found the ARS scientists had brought hundreds of dogs and cats from Asian meat markets and then had them euthanized to feed to healthy cats. Had them euthanized and fed to healthy cats at the Maryland lab? In a statement, the USDA says that toxoplasmosis research has been redirected and use of cats as part of any research protocol in any ARS laboratory has been discontinued and will not be reinstated. So, yeah. I brought my dad a 1200 AR-15 when I was 18 because I never brought him anything for 18 years with my own money. That's a good kid. Yeah, true. True. And an AR-15 is probably, as helpful as a car. I'm big guns right advocates. I think everybody has a right to bear arms. Especially considering where I live. We don't, supposedly. But yeah. I surprised him with it on Christmas morning as if Santa came. Yeah. Yeah, good on him. Good on you, man. Good story. I like these sort of feel-good stories. Alright, something that you won't hear from most people on the left, and this is something that is obviously interesting. Woman from China carrying malware arrested after entering Mar-a-Lago. A 32-year-old woman from China carrying 4 cell phones and a thumb drive infected with malware gained access to a Mar-a-Lago during President Trump's visit to the Florida resort over the weekend. Federal court records show. The woman, identified as Zhang, I'm getting that name wrong, has arrived at the Palm Beach resort and showed 2 Chinese passports when sought to be admitted, saying she wanted to use the pool. She was allowed to enter by Secret Service agents stationed outside the resort after the Mar-a-Lago security manager on duty verified her last name matched the surname of the member of the club, according to a complaint filed in Federal District Court of Florida, South Florida. When asked if she was a member's daughter, she did not give a definite answer. The complaint said she was permitted to enter and was escorted to the front desk to a valet-driven golf club. Once inside, according to an account filed with the court, the woman said she was there to attend the United Nations Chinese American Association event later in the evening, but no such event existed. According to the complaint, so the club receptionist alerted the secret security, though she had initially said she had come to use the pool. She was not carrying a swimsuit, the complaint said. Ms. Zhang told the agent who questioned her on the site that she was there for a United Nations friendship event and that had arrived early to use the pool to take photos. She showed the agent an invitation to the proposed event, but it was in Chinese and no one present could read it. At the point, the Secret Service agent escorted her off the property And the agent continued to question her, and when the agent suggested that she had unlawfully gained access to the club, she became verbally aggressive and was detained. For there, she was then taken to the secret offices in West Palm Beach. During the second interview, Mr. Zheng told the authorities that the Chinese friend's name, Charles, had told her to travel to Shanghai and Palm Beach in order to attend the United Nations Friendship event, and said that she should attempt to speak with a member of the president's family about Chinese and American foreign economic relations. The agents were unable to learn more about Charles. Ms. Zhang told them that she only spoke to him via the Chinese mobile app WeChat. When the authorities searched for her belongings, they found that she was carrying 4 cell phones, a hard drive, a laptop, and a thumb drive that was found to be infected with malware. She was arrested at that point and charged with lying to federal agents and given access to a restricted area. And federal agents and gaining access to a restricted area. The Secret Service declined to comment on the case, citing an ongoing investigation. Ms. Zhang's lawyer, a federal public defendant, did not respond to requests for comment, nor did the management at the Mar-a-Lago. Don McCary, I'm getting that name wrong, Executive Vice President for Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, which presents the Secret Service, said the episode showed how much the Secret Service relied on the security at Mar-a-Lago. He said that the fact that the Secret Service agents apparently relied on the determination by a Mar-a-Lago security agent that Ms. Zhang was related to a member of the club simply because she shared the member's last name was problematic, which I would agree with. It's a hard position for Secret Service to be potentially denying a $1 million committee member, Ms. Tamiki said. It puts the security service in a very difficult position, but we don't know who the members are and who they aren't. You're depending on them to say the employee, and this isn't an employee. We walk off the first names list, he said. Our opportunities are you coming in with explosives or not. The issue of access to Mr. Trump by Chinese nationals is becoming an issue for the last month when news media reports surfaced showed that Chinese American women in Florida who once owned a chain of Chinese massage parlors had been investigated for prostitution and attended a number of these events. These women, Cindy Yang, collected contributions directed towards Mr. Trump's campaign from her friends, family, and employees, and website on which she advertised that she could provide access to the Trump administration. To me, I think this girl's a spy. That's what I think this was. I think this Asian Chinese lady was a spy. I think that this was set up so that she could gain access to the Mar-a-Lago's computer system, and I reckon at the end of the day that was the plan. The plan was to go in there, infiltrate the system, grab the data, maybe blackmail Trump on it, or his cabinet, or whatever it may be, or at the very least sell the data. I think this is espionage, and I would like to see her charged with that. Yeah. Tripp says that she's a spy too, he agrees. TL says, I love America and West Virginia, always a shooting range close to me. Good on you, man. Maybe I should come and visit. I want to go to the US one day. When I go to the US, I want to get a whole bunch of guns and fire them. And film it. And really trigger the left. But yeah, I love my guns. We got shooting ranges and that here, but it's fucking expensive. But yeah, I reckon this girl's a spy. I reckon she was there to infiltrate the Trump campaign, and I think that was the whole idea, was to infiltrate it, put this malware on the computer system, maybe get it into the president, and blackmail or sell the data or whatever it may be. So I think that's why the Secret Service aren't commenting on it. But anyway. Firms tied to Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, were paid $3.8 million by a Soros-Backed group, allegedly. I've got to say allegedly because, you know. The Democrats' Integral Project, a non-profit that receives funding from George Soros, paid firms tied to Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele more than $3.8 million in 2017. Tax filing shows the Democracy Integral Project provided its research to government entities. The group funder, a former staff of Dianne Feinstein, has described its shadow media organization that helps the government. They literally call themselves a shadow media organization. Like, Jesus Christ, how Llewellyn do you have to get? Or how deep state do you have to get? A non-profit group partly funded by billionaire activist George Soros paid firms tied to Fusion GPS and dossier authority Christopher Steele more than $3.8 million in 2017 to provide research analysis to government entities, according to IRS findings. The payment made by the Democracy Integral Project more than 3 times what the DNC and Clinton campaign paid Fusion GPS and Steele dossier during the 2016 presidential campaign to investigate Donald Trump's possible ties to Russia. Patsy Coley, I'm getting that name wrong, a law firm that represented the DNC and Clinton campaign, paid $1 million to Fusion GPS in 2016 to investigate Trump. Fusion GPS in turn paid Steele, a former MI6 agent or officer, nearly $170,000 for a project that resulted in the infamous Steele dossier, which ended up being mostly bullshit, so he got out of it okay. Steele's report, which allegedly Steele's report, which alleged a well-coordinated conspiracy between Trump campaign and the Russian government, has come under intense scrutiny in the wake of the special counsel's findings in the 22-month Russia probe. Daniel Day Jones, a former staffer to the Clinton Democrat Senator Dianne Feinstein, founded TDIP on the 31st of January 2017, seemingly to resume Democrats' investigation of Trump's possible links to Russia. Jones operated what is called a shadow media organization, helping the government to investigate Russian meddling in the 2016 election. He also told the FBI in March 2017 that he received funding from a group of between 7 to 10 wealthy donors, and back then we actually suspected it was going to be George Soros and who planned to provide information to the federal investors and press the lawmakers. And do we have a list? Yeah, we have a list of the companies here. Edward Austin Limited, Zuckerman Spader Limited, Limited LLP, Essex Associates Limited, Westwing Present Partners Limited, and Bean LLC. So, yeah. The full extent of the TDIP's work remains a mystery, as the identities of most of the organization's donors. Real Clear investigators report on March 20th that TDIP sends out daily newsletters with a roundup of news stories about the special counsel's investigation and other Trump-related matters. Jones also taken credit for planning anti-Trump news stories. Adam Waldman, an attorney with links to Christopher Steele, related text messages showing that Jones took credit for Reuters news article that raised questions about Russia purchase of Trump's properties in Florida. Our team helped with this, Jones wrote Waterman on March 17, 2017, in a text message provided to the Daily Caller and the News Foundation. Waterman testified that the Senate Intelligence Committee in November 2017 that Jones had told him that Soros and the progressive billionaire franchisor was one of the TDIP's backers. It was confirmed in October when the New York Times reported that Soros donated at least $1 million to TDIP. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, it looks like it's all a bunch of Trump derangement syndrome. It's a whole bunch of people donating to help fund the Steele dossier. So I want to know where the rest of the money went. If only 170 million went to Steele, where did the other 3.8 million or whatever go? That's what bothers me. Where's the rest of that money sitting? So, yeah. Alright, so, well, you guys have been busy the past 5 minutes. Did you kick the door in wearing a Santa outfit? That's funny. No, he would have shot me because he's prized Eddie Harry Monster 44 Magnum. Well, that's nice. We have family own 25 guns. Holy dooly. From ARs to AKs to 22 Magnums. Nice. Nice collection, man. I agree she's a spy. I love America. West of Virginia. Always a shooting range close to me. You have to come to West Virginia, bro. I would let you stay with me. Oh, I'd stay in a hotel, man. That's no problem. But go to the rifle range together if you want. Tripwire. When she gets back or pack, maybe to China, her organs are going to be harvested for her failure. She won't get back. They're going to throw her in Guantanamo. I bet you she disappears in the Guantanamo Bay. That would pretty much confirm she's a spy. I'll teach you the American way of life. Beers, guns, and a good time. That sounds like fun, man. It really does. Trip. No TL Byron. We have a king size bed to share. Kidding. If he makes it to West, if he makes it up to West, if he makes it to Wisconsin, he'll be welcome at my homestead. Guys, don't fight over it. I'll come and visit you both, okay? I'll come and visit you all. I want to do a sort of American trip. I love it. The man's show. Our American values, our shows, our homes, our hearts within. Oh, thanks, guys. Neighbours, anyone else who might need it. At least I'm not the only patriot out there. True, TL, true. But the way that Australia's going at the moment, dude, I might have to run for freaking Australian Prime Minister just to turn this country around. I might have to do a Trump. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't really want to do that. But, anyway. Confirmed. Bogan Trump Russia dossier. Alpha Bank's connections were created by Hillary supporters working with Fusion GPS and pushed by crooked Hillary. So there's the linkage there. So there's Hillary in the center of it, literally. The Russian dossier, it then goes through the DNC, or DOJ, sorry, and the FBI. But I think it goes all the way up to the top. I really, really do. A review of the data permitting to accusations in the phony Steele dossier about Trump Russia-backed connections discovered the sources used is most likely the same sources the FBI used to obtain FISA warrants to investigate the Trump Alpha Bank connections. This person also happened to be a radical Hillary supporter. It's more than 2 years since the 2016 elections, and Americans still don't know what really the source of the phony Steele dossier used by the FBI and DOJ to obtain FISA warrants to spy on candidate then President Trump. The nightmare for President Trump all started in June 2016 after news broke that the Democrat National Committee had been hacked. A group of prominent computer scientists were on alert. They weren't actually given the computers though. A group of individuals led by Hillary supporters stated snooping around the Trump Tower computer to allegedly see if the server had also been hacked. That's interesting, isn't it? This group was led by India University professor and staunch Hillary supporter Jean Camp professor, according to Sarah, who was a staunch Hillary supporter. She said, in respect to computer scientists who have raised concerns about the possibility connection between President Trump and Russia Bank is an unbellished Hillary Clinton supporter who made multiple small donations to the Democratic presidential campaign around the time she had her colleagues surface the allegations. Some techniques uncovered that the Trump Tower servers began bombarded with the same exact initial lookup requests that they used the word Trump and Alpha together, which were automatically placed in the servers, logging the file by the server. According to New York Times, computer logs show the two servers at Alpha Bank sent more than 2,700 lookup messages to the Trump servers. At the same time, the FBI received a complaint from cyber experts about the possibility about Trump affiliate bank connections, which led to the FBI to investigate into a Trump Alpha Bank connections, according to the New York Times. In a classified section in August-September of 2016, intelligence officials also briefed congressional leaders on the possibility of financial ties between Russia and people connected to Mr. Trump. They focused particularly attention on what cyber experts say appear to be a mysterious computer back channel between the Trump organization and the Alpha Bank, which is one of Russia's biggest banks, and those who owns have long-standing ties to Mr. Putin. At the same time, the FBI began its investigation. Christopher Steele began pushing the now debunked claim that Trump was connected to Alpha Bank. This all seems like it was basically, we lost the election, so we're going to try and get you impeached through phony investigations. This is what it all seems like to me. It's a whole bunch of die-hard Hillarys who got the shits because their campaign lost, who are now going through and trying to get Trump out of office. But even if that happens, even if Trump gets impeached, right? There's still not going to be a Hillary. It's going to go to... What? You have to then go through and then you have to get rid of the vice president, Mike Pence. And then, what? Hope that you get another election where Hillary wins or something like that? It's not going to work. It's stupid plan, but anyway. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised with this and the previous. I'm not surprised that Democrats are up to the neck in it. I'm really not. Look, at the end of the day, obviously it's not surprising because obviously they're going to be the ones that are going to be anti-Trump. But I do find it really, really interesting that we have confirmed Hillary supporters trying to push a narrative of, you know, this bank being in ties with Trump. We have Soros funding groups spending $3.8 million to back a group that funded and that's tied to the Fusion GPS. Look, at the end of the day, it's all weird. It's very, very weird. And now we have Tom Cotton, who pushes IRS to investigate the Southern Poverty Law Center's tax exemption status. Another left-wing organization. Senator Tom Cotton, who's a Republican from Arizona, I think it is pressing the IRS to investigate the tax-exempt status of the left-wing group Southern Poverty Law Center. An organization that has been mired in scandal. Cotton argues that the series of recent reports regarding the left-wing group's potentially political activities are troubling, and that in a letter that he had to the IRS provided to Breitbart News exclusively ahead of its public release, questioned whether these actions warrant removal of the group's status of non-profit organization. I'm writing to urge you to investigate whether Southern Poverty Law Center (SPLC) should retain its classification as a 501c3 non-profit organization, Cotton wrote in the Tuesday letter to IRS Commissioner Charles Rigatti. Recent reports that have confirmed a long-established fact that SPLC regularly engages in defamation of its political opponents. In fact, the SPLC defunding characteristics to fundraise off defamation. SPLC's defining characteristics, is to fundraise off defamation. They have been in a lot of trouble lately. Hello, Alabama. How are you, Philip? Look, they've been in a lot of trouble lately. The past couple of years. They've had a lot of people suing them or try to sue them. They've had some successful, some fail. Look, at the end of the day, yeah. Look, I get worried about going through and targeting non-profit groups because they might be left-wing, right-wing, whatever it may be. This sort of a slippery slope. The left might do it when they get in power. Well, they will do it anyway, but anyway. I know it's sort of fighting fire with fire. I don't have a problem with the investigation into the SPLC and whether they're non-biased or whether they're partisan or whatever it may be. Maybe investigate, but I would be very cautious about the investigation because at the end of the day, I would be scared that this could be seen as a partisan hack or a partisan attack. That would be my explanation on it. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below on that. Let's obviously go through the comments. Alright, where did we get up to? Sending them all to Gitmo. I presume you're talking about the spies and the Democrats. Yeah, Gitmo's more of a terrorist thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, slippery slope, Wolfie, when you say stuff like that. Because then, you know, if the Democrats ever get into power, they're going to do the same thing. Gene Camp needs to meet Mary Kay. I don't know who Mary Kay is, but anyway. Greetings from Mobile, Alabama. Greetings, how are you, Philip? Philip, hello, says Trip. Philip says hello back. I should probably not read those ones out, but anyway. TBL, CL, sorry, says they're a bunch of shitheads. True. And they lost the election, which is why they're a bunch of shitheads right now, particularly. Morris Steele was the founder of the SPLC. He was recently fired. Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard about that. He was fired because of, well, what was the official reason for that? I think he was fired because they just change of direction or something like that. But I reckon it was because they were just getting a bad rap. But traitors, they have been fucking up society for years. Well, that's true. The left wing are definitely trying to push an agenda. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below regarding any of that. Let me know what your thoughts are. And what are your thoughts on these three? I think they're all linked. So that's why I put them together. But there, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Mary Kay is a makeup company. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, let's jump on to the next topic. Armed mum saves daughter from Muslim kidnapping in shopping mall. Adoption attempts. Mohammed Fatwahas, I'm getting that name wrong, from Egypt, released child when mum pointed a gun at him. Look at that. Guns do work. Who would have thought? Don't tell the left. A mum armed with a pistol saved her 5-year-old daughter from being kidnapped at West Virginia Mall Monday night. Damn, this happened in America? Jesus Christ. An incident happened in the Old Navy at the Hentred Mall in Buzzville? I'm getting that wrong. At around 6 p.m. as Mohammed Fatwa Hassan Kadan, 54, from Alexandria in Egypt, grabbed the child by the hair and attempted to pull her away, reports. Police say the mother then pulled out a handgun and told the suspect to let the child go. The mother told the police. The man let go of the child and ran out of the store into the mall. Zirin was taken into custody after she was located walking near the food court. So they took the mother into custody? Oh, no. Okay, that's the perpetrator. Yep, okay. Sorry, yeah. So the perpetrator was taken into custody after he located walking near the food court. The woman helped police track the man down in the mall, reports WSAZ's Melina Staffer. According to WYMTV, a magistrate has revoked Azira's passport and an Arabic language phone translator was needed during his arraignment. His bond is set to $200,000 on a felony charge of attempted abduction, and preliminary hearing has been set for April 8th. So, yeah. Hey, bro, that is bullshit. She, seriously, she lied. Oh, really? What are you saying about this clip? You're saying this is wrong, is it? Is it fake news, is it? Just waiting. Yeah, let us know in the comments, man. Where's the mother's name so I can Google it, see if there's an update on this. fake news. Okay, have you got like a post or something that sort of debunks it, or? Okay, so she admitted she's overreacted. Alright, here's an update on it now. So, thank you for being on the ball about this, by the way. Yeah, so let's jump into the update on this. So she admitted she may have overreacted. Oh, really? Wow. That up as well. So, okay. So, West Virginia mum thoughts kidnapping of 5-year-old daughter. Mum who pulled gun on man at mall admits she may have overreacted. A mother in Virginia is now admitting she may have overreacted when she pulled a gun on the man who it turns out wasn't trying to abduct her 5-year-old daughter after all, authorities said. Update. So the woman who's shopping with her daughter at Hutton Mall in Bodersweiler Monday night when she reported that a man, later identified as Faswa as alleged, grabbed the child by the hair and attempted to pull away. Investigators are now saying they discovered inconsistencies in the woman's story and that she eventually admitted she might have misjudged Zaren's actions, overreacting when he touched the child's head. WSAZ is reporting the woman is said to have been a cultural misunderstanding. Prosecutors are working to reduce the man's bail so he can leave jail. And the story that you posted, man, is man released from jail. Okay. So a man from Egypt, initially accused of attempting to kidnap a child from Hunton, Mali, was released from jail Tuesday night after the mother's child changed her story at a crew at the scene, reports. So the man was an engineer who was emotional as he was released to his family awaiting outside the West Virginia jail, openly crying with them. The Egyptian consultant had been in touch with authorities in West Virginia about the overall incident. A woman told police that Zana tried to kidnap her 5-year-old daughter at the Huntington Mall on Monday. She also told police that she pulled a gun to scare the suspect away. The incident happened when the woman was shopping with her daughter at the Old Navy store in the little after 6 p.m. Police said Tuesday that the whole incident stemmed from over a cultural misunderstanding when Zala allegedly patted the girl on the head. The mother originally told the police that